Hello everyone, this is V and you are watching Movies Hunter. So, I recently came across this horror thriller film released in 2022 called X. It's just like V but X. Anyway, as I said in the title, the naive characters in this film wanted to shoot an adult movie, but something unexpected happened and they ended up making a horror film, which is kind of funny. So let's get straight to the plot. The film begins in the year 1979. When Sheriff Dentler arrives at the scene of a horrific crime. There is blood splattered all over the place. The deputy officer then shows Dentler something gruesome. Dentler is left speechless after what he witnesses. We then travel back in time to the previous day, where an aspiring starlet, Maxine, is getting ready to go to Houston, Texas to shoot for an adult film, The Farmer's Daughter. Her boyfriend and executive producer, Wayne, introduces her to the rest of the crew, which includes writer and director RJ, his girlfriend and sound operator Lorraine, and actors Bobby Lynn and Jackson, who are also a couple. Now, on their way, Maxine asks Wayne, "Why did you choose Texas of all places?" Wayne replies that people are very conservative when it comes to shooting an adult film. So he has rented a farmhouse of an elderly couple where they can shoot their film without any problem. Once the crew arrives at the farmhouse, Wayne goes to talk to Howard, the owner of the house. But since Howard doesn't recognize Wayne, he points a rifle at him and tells him to leave. Wayne reminds him that they spoke the other night and that he wants to rent his place for a while. Luckily, Howard remembers their conversation and shows them the place where they will be staying. Maxine, who has two pair of eyes, notices Howard's wife, Pearl, who is watching her from the window. When Howard notices the rest of the crew, he tells Wayne that he did not agree to this. Howard makes it clear that he doesn't like or trust any of them, but the crew simply ignores him and begins shooting the first scene, where Jackson and Bobby Lynn will be acting. When Lorraine sees them in action, she appears to get aroused. RJ is attempting to shoot the film in a serious cinematic style, which was booming back in the late 70s. While they are busy shooting, Maxine goes to a nearby lake for a quick swim. But as she swims back to the dock, an alligator is revealed to be living in the lake. Oh no! But before it could catch Maxine, she gets to the dock without noticing the alligator in the water. When she returns to the farmhouse, she notices Pearl waving at her and inviting her to the house. So Maxine goes to talk to her. Pearl shows her some photos of her when she was young. She says that, "When I was young and beautiful, Howard would do everything for me." Pearl laments her age and expresses jealousy for Maxine's youth. Maxine is beginning to feel uncomfortable and just leaves the house. She then returns to the farmhouse and joins the rest of the crew. The premise of the film is that Jackson's car broke down and he comes upon Bobby Lynn's house. Maxine is playing the younger sister of Bobby Lynn, who too will be romancing Jackson. Yes, to independent film. While they shoot their scene, Pearl secretly watches them from the window and appears to get aroused. So she returns to her house and asks Howard, "Make love to me, Howard." But Howard refuses, saying that his heart is too weak now. Later at night, everyone celebrates the first successful day of shooting. Lorraine asks Wayne if he is okay with Maxine making love with Jackson. Wayne says that it's just business. We are all professionals. RJ adds that it's just a movie and there are no feelings involved. Maxine also says that you can't control who you get attracted to, so it's better to let those emotions out rather than keep them locked up. Lorraine expresses that she liked what they did today. Yay! And enjoyed every moment of it. So she has decided to be in the movie as well. She doesn't just want to carry the equipment all day, but she wants a significant part in the film. Besides, she wants to shed her reputation as a prude. RJ is shocked by this and says that she cannot do this. But Wayne is intrigued by the idea and tries to convince RJ in private. RJ was so furious and tells Wayne, "Stop, Lorraine! She is an innocent girl! She should not do it just because everyone else is doing it!" But Wayne has made up his mind and will allow Lorraine to be in his film. He even convinces RJ by telling him that if Lorraine gets famous, she may take him with him. But if he tries to stop her, she will keep doing it with several other men. So RJ is left with no choice but to let her do as she pleases. Once the shooting is done, everyone goes to sleep, except for RJ. He is overthinking and he cries in the bathroom over his girlfriend's unfaithfulness. I don't know. Heartbroken and in pain, he decides to leave while the others sleep. But he stops when he sees Pearl standing on the road. Wow, that's creepy. He tries to help her get back into the house, but she then attempts to come onto him. RJ rebuffs her and tries to move her out of the way, but Pearl stabs him in the neck and then keeps stabbing him until he dies. Oh my god, why? So later at night, Lorraine notices that RJ isn't in bed, so she goes out looking for him and comes across Wayne. She fears that RJ must have left her after what she did. So the two head out to find RJ. Wayne goes to the barn to find RJ, but accidentally steps on a nail. As he removes it, he hears something outside, so he looks through a hole in the wall, but ends up getting impaled in the eye with a pitchfork by Pearl. Meanwhile, Lorraine comes across Howard, who tells her that his wife is missing, so he asks Lorraine to retrieve a flashlight from the basement. But when she tries to leave, she sees that the door is locked. Oh no! So she goes back down and is horrified to discover the rotting corpse of a man. Howard then approaches Jackson. Let's call him Michael Jackson. So yeah, Howard approaches Michael Jackson and asks him to help him find Pearl. Michael Jackson agrees and the two leave to find Pearl. But soon after they leave, Pearl enters Maxine's room and climbs into her bed naked. She then starts touching her back and leaves RJ's blood on her. When Maxine turns around, she screams in horror when she sees Pearl lying next to her. I mean, I would be too. Oh, shit. Meanwhile, Michael Jackson and Howard go to the lake to find Pearl. After searching for a while, Jackson tells Howard that his wife isn't at the lake. Howard says that he knows what Pearl has been up to, and then shoots Michael Jackson in the chest with his shotgun. Rest in peace. Meanwhile, Lorraine manages to grab an axe and tries to break through the door to escape, but Howard comes there in time and brutally slams her fingers with his shotgun, forcing her back inside. Bobby Lynn goes out, let's call her Billie Jean actually. Billie Jean goes out looking for Wayne and Jackson. She then comes across Pearl near the lake and tries to help her back into the house. But Pearl insults her and then pushes her into the lake where she is eaten by the alligator. Back at the farmhouse, Maxine washes off the blood from her body. She then notices Howard and Pearl return to the house. They are looking for Maxine but can't find her anywhere. Pearl badly wants to romance someone, but sadly there is no one around other than Howard. As Howard can't see his wife upset, he decides to fulfill her desires by making love to her. It is then revealed that Maxine is hiding under the bed and has heard everything. She somehow sneaks out of the room and tries to go to the van, but finds that the keys are missing. Just then, she hears Lorraine calling for help, so she grabs Wayne's gun from the van and goes back to save Lorraine. But Lorraine angrily blames Maxine for everything that has happened. She panics and tries to run out of the house but gets shot in the face by Howard. As Howard and Pearl drag the body inside, Lorraine lets out a dying cough, which startles Howard and causes him to suffer a fatal heart attack. Maxine manages to find the van keys and aims her gun at Pearl. Pearl says that she and Maxine are the same, as both of them have this never-ending desire. Maxine says that she isn't anything like her and tries to shoot Pearl, but she finds that the gun is not loaded. Pearl seizes the opportunity and grabs the shotgun to fire at Maxine, but she misses and the force from the shotgun blasts her out of the house. As Maxine walks out of the house, Pearl asks her to help her, saying that she broke her hips. Hips But Maxine refuses to help her. Instead, she gets into the van and runs over Pearl with the truck. Maxine then drives away from the farm for good. The next day, Sheriff Dentler and other officers arrive at the scene. They discover all the bodies at the farm and wonder what really happened the previous night. One of the officers then finds the camera used to film the adult movie. When the deputy asks Dentler what he thinks is on it, Dentler replies, "A messed up horror show." And that's exactly my thoughts on the whole movie. And so this was the story of X. Click subscribe, comment on your thoughts, and I'm gonna see you in the next hunt.